What's up, everyone? Brad Borne here, and happy 2013 to you all. I have some really cool stuff to show off, and I'm so sorry that it's taken this long to have another video. So let's make my New Year's resolution to finally make a few more videos and show you guys what's up, what's been going on. Now, what I've been working on is what I'm going to call a fancy box. For now, it's basically an outlet for me to build new features and show things off as I'm working on them. Play around with new ideas, build new levels, get feedback on where the Fancy Pants Adventures is going, because it's sort of been a long-running thing for me where I could not have predicted, where World 3 would have been now, Fancy Pants Adventures on the consoles, multiplayer, and all that. It's sort of been an evolving process for me. I like to play the games to figure out what would be fun and evolve the franchise from there, and I'd really like to get everybody much more involved in that process. So I'm here to show off the fancy box. I'll show you how to get to it. If you go to bornegames.com, here's my site, and here's the temporary page. There's not much there right now. I'll be putting this video there, and hopefully some more things soon. But you go ahead and click on that, load up Flash there. And right now there's just a few levels, just a few new things I've been working on, but if you look right here, this is the big new feature. I actually have two-player working in the browser right now. It's not online, and it is very difficult to do over a keyboard, so if you get something like Joy2Key or Darwin Remote on the Mac, or Ouija to use Wiimotes, or any sort of keyboard emulator, it makes that much easier to play. And basically with the console game, there were a few things that we had to leave out that I would really like to see, and I'd really like to everyone to be able to play. So I decided, heck, I'm just going to go ahead and build them myself in Flash. And I've been working on the multiplayer experience, first and foremost, polishing moves, doing different things. But I'm going to make a separate video about that, hopefully very soon. I always say that. Show off, competitive Fancy Pants Adventures. But right now, I just want to highlight, the new levels aspect of the fancy box. And I've been making a few. I can show you right here. I've been working on, smaller, more difficult, challenging levels, which is something I'd really like to explore. How difficult can I make the Fancy Pants Adventures without alienating people? Every now and then I get people saying, oh, it's too easy, and I keep, making more and more moves and making the engine and the movement a lot deeper, but I always feel like there's just not enough to do with that, like there needs to be... Oh, there's another part. 1 second here. I really want to explore how far I can push players, and I also get that it's way too hard too, so that's why I'd love to involve everybody and get a lot of feedback on what I'm doing. Checking those hats here. Get out of here. And so this is just a chance for me to polish things up, to kind of explore where the series is going, and basically give you guys something to play before the next big Fancy Pants release. And since I'm making it very easy to make new levels and explore different concepts, I figured, why not... I'm falling. Why not just let you guys in on the process too? Because right now, when I work on the levels, I load everything in externally. So make the levels in one file, have the game in another file. And so really there's no reason why, anyone basically could open up Flash, build a level from a template, and throw it in and make the engine load it without, touching any of the source code or any of that stuff. While I'm at it, you can kind of see, I was playing around with a new jump. You can tell me if you like that or not. Just something a bit more animated. I realized the first jump was mostly from World 1. I had touched it up a bit for World 2. But now it's a chance to really just play around with making new things. And so let's go... Alright, back to creating levels. And so if you guys go ahead and make something, send it to me. I would love to make... Oh, I died. I'd love to make a video in the future showing off, third-party levels. I think the cameo levels was one of the coolest parts about World 2, so I'd really love to have something like that again. I know I was taking submissions for baddies when I was tweaking the combat for World 3, but I'd really love to take this as far as possible. And, you know, let's just really have a lot of fun with this. And, so I've had a... Let's see if we can go back here. So in the forum, I've had a post about making levels for a while now. And so I have some really cool stuff. I'm going to get people's permission before showing that off. But hopefully we'll have a lot of fun things. And I have some instructions on how to make a level, but I know it's way easier just to show you guys. It's a very easy process. I think if you can see how to do it, I think anyone can pick it up. And so if you can see where I'm clicking, this is the forum on my site. Back, Fancy Box page, forum. And so if you have any questions or anything, this would probably be the best place to come discuss it, or in the actual post on the site for the Fancy Box. Of course, leave a comment. I try to read all the YouTube comments too. But let's go ahead and jump in. I'm still dying. And let me show you what you guys can do. So if you go on my site, download the package, and there's a link on that Fancy Box page. You'll get these files right here. And I'm going to go ahead, open stuff for the site. A little thing real quick. I would recommend only opening the Swift in Flash Player 10.0 because it's the only one that seems to run full speed locally. It's really weird, I know. There you go, so that all works. If you don't want to hunt that down, just do the HTML file. It's basically what's on the site. It's just everything's gonna load a lot quicker. And some things might be a little outdated, but I'll go ahead and make sure those files are up to date in the zip file that I've posted. So here we go. So what you'll be doing, go into level FLAs, and I'm gonna open up Arena 1 because that's probably the simplest level to go through. And first thing you see here is the all everything clip. Everything's in here. You can move this around. It's not going to mess anything up. You can scale this if you want to make a huge level. Of course, there's some limits to that. And all you guys are going to really have to do is edit this template. It's going to be super easy to do. You can look through the other levels. There's some baddies in one of the levels. I'll be putting more things in, more clips that you can grab and paste in with instructions on where to put it. But grab this file, and for instance, if you want to edit, let's say, any curvy ground. So everything is broken up into different things. You have your platforms, there we go. Double click on there, opens up. So there's the foreground. You have the foreground that comes out in front. I don't think there's any here. You have the baddie layers, no baddies in here. Or interact, which is like the scroll boundaries, the doors, water, not in this level. There is a level in there with that if you want to grab that. Automatic platforms, I don't think I have any of those. So ground. Let's go ahead and say, double click on the ground. And the way the engine works, I think I might have shown this off before. I think it is really, really cool for editing. I like everything to be really super simple when I'm editing it. No tiles or anything crazy like that. And it's literally just drawn straight into these movie clips. And the engine looks at the clips and figures out where all the collision should be. So what you would do, double click in until that's editable. And I'm on a Wacom here. It does make it much easier if you're on some sort of drawing pad, but you can probably move things around with a mouse and use the wonderful smooth tool there. Go ahead and get the paintbrush, make a nice big circle, and you can go ahead, draw anything, fill it in, and that's it. That's the collision for the game. Go ahead and hit Apple or Control Enter / return, whatever you have there. That file's gonna be made, and then go ahead over here and load up the OpenMe file. And since I was editing Arena 1, that's just gonna go straight to there. Click on that. Oh, there it is. And now I run into it, and that's collision. Really, really, really simple. So what you can do is go in here, make this a guide, and don't even worry about that anymore. Go ahead and click on a new layer. I know, I leave tons of layers in there, I'm terrible. Go ahead and draw whatever you want, fill it out, export, go back to the package file, open that up, Arena 1, and there it is. And now you have whatever crazy collision you made. So if you want to do anything with walls, this will kind of act as a wall, but you'll be able to run up it. You want to do anything with walls, use the walls clip here. Oh, I gotta say, all of the naming came from basically when I started programming, so it's all very silly, so just please excuse all my crazy naming conventions. Here we go, so here's my walls clip. So you want to make anything that's going to have a ledge, flat grounds, or any walls that you can wall jump over. This is what you're going to use. So what I like to do is just grab some of the old stuff, copy, paste, free transform, it's just right here, or Q. Move something, let's see, I'm making a wall right there. Save, always save, flash loads to crash, but these, luckily these level files are pretty small. Export, there's the arena file. Flip over to load. I'm opening that up, point over here, Arena 1. That might be not the right file. There we go. Open me. I should probably leave this over here. Okay. Arena 1. There we go. There's our wall clip. Go ahead and jump off of that. Run up that. And for the platforms, now you're only going to run on the top of these. So the purple platforms clips, stuff that anything that you can jump up from underneath. You can also, copy paste. I like to copy these two since they're all usually a very similar shape. Zoom in. You can make these a little bit curvy. I find it best to copy paste them and then skew them. So if I want to make something curved, I can, oops, undo button is your friend. Do that. Grab all that. Click the wonderful smooth button. There we go. And click again. Open. Come back over here. And there you go. Super, super easy to do. Of course, there are a lot of there's a lot of limitations with the engine because it is all drawn in. They're all blobs and not vectors. For instance, you can't, I mean, you could, but it would make some weird behavior. Have the bottom of a platform in a ground clip, like the wall clip or the ground clip over there. If you do that, actually, I don't even know what it's going to do now. I've been changing how that behaves. Let's see. So go down here. Yeah, see, it's just going to treat it like any other wall. Wall fan spaceman isn't jumping. If you're jumping, it's fine. If you're not, kind of warps you up there. Yeah, it looks silly. But there you go. Super, super easy to do. You can just jump in, copy paste my clips, draw your own stuff, mostly in, I would say, the ground. And the colors aren't important, but it helps me to distinguish between the different clips. And let's see. And so the thing is, everything here is what the engine sees. That's not what the players see. That is the foreground clip here, like I said. So to make, oh, there's a shell there. To make everything invisible, there's some code here. And it's going to say show smoke equals true. Just turn it to false. Very simple. Export that. Open. Yeah, making a game can get kind of tedious. Alright, so that's gone. So now if I want to draw in here, double click on foreground. Then go ahead and get my brush tool. And do that. Because I'm awesome. There's Arena 1. Now, anything in foreground clip character is not going to hit. Just going to go right through it. Now, the important thing about the foreground clip is the engine itself takes everything that's in the foreground, turns it, well, it makes a bunch of tiles, and then presses that foreground into the tiles. So all of this turns into bitmaps. So you don't have to worry about how much you actually draw in here. It's not going to slow the game down at all. You go and zoom in, and you can see, yeah, the background too. Oh, I lost him. There we go. What is it doing? So everything there, you can see it's actually bitmaps, while the player is still vectors. So you can sit there and scribble all you want, draw whatever you want in there, use gradients or anything. The only problem you're going to have is that it's going to take longer to load the level. It's going to take longer to export and edit also. But that's it. It's super easy. Once you start moving everything around, you might want to start editing things in here in the interact layer. There's 2 doors since there's 2 players now. One is door 0. That's usually you start at door 0, but you can edit the code on the door. I might show that later if that's difficult, but it's pretty simple. There's a worm and there's worm door. Worm is like level 1, arena 1, whatever you want it to load. But these are just entrance doors. They're much simpler. This is door 0, door 0 P2. That's where player 2 comes out if you do 2-player. There we go. Oh, that's beautiful. Let's see. And that's really it. I'd love to see... Oh, yeah. Boundaries here. If you want to restrict the camera, for instance, just move these around. You can kind of tell what they're supposed to do. So now that's as far as the camera goes, even though you can keep going that way. Let me think. So there's coins. Squiggles go in the interact layer. You don't have to name those. They'll name themselves. Undo. There's a background clip back here. It's BG1 now. Now in World 3 I had up to... well, I mean, you can have as many as you want. But I'm going to have to start working on the parallax backgrounds because I was actually hardwired into the game itself to know how many backgrounds there were and how they should scroll. So let me go ahead and work on that. I'll update you guys later on if I get the backgrounds. Right now there's just one background. You can edit that however you want. And so for arenas, I use a spikes clip with basically just a box around everybody or a bunch of boxes. That makes the player respawn, you know, with 1 less life instead of dying. Let me see. I think if I do, all right, custom, does it do anything? Maybe that doesn't do anything. My bads. Yeah, I think it broke it. But I have to flip a switch and tell it that you're fighting, and then you get... What I'm playing around with now is kind of a Smash Brothers style damage. You know, the more you hurt, the more you fly. But again, I'll talk about that later. Yeah, and I can show off some of the additions to the fighting, which I think is a lot of fun. So that's really it. Hey, you guys, make some levels so I can showcase them in some videos. You know, if you make some arenas, I'll get someone else. We'll play some 2-player and fight on them. You know, but... You know, impress me. Show off. I want to see your level making skills. Please try not to break the engine too much. If there's anything that you want to see that you want in your level, if it's anything that was in World 3, that'll be really easy for me to include so that you can just paste that into your template. Or if you want to be creative, I don't know, different moving baddies that, you know, follow platforms or squishy anvil things, obstacles. I don't know, it's, oh, look, there's a squiggle clip. So yeah, you can copy and paste that anywhere. Don't worry about naming it. If you can think of something fun, just let me know. And, you know, basically, let's make Fancy Pants Adventures way cooler together. That sounds cheesy. But I know you guys like playing things for free, so let's make some new content. That shouldn't be there. Go away, Snail Shell. And I am going to start working on some new game modes that we were trying to include with the console game, but couldn't because of time restraints. And I think that's something that I'm really excited about. That should be a lot of fun. Show you guys, you know, kind of what was in the back of our minds. And that's it. I'm going to cut this off because I love to ramble at the end of the videos. Some things never change. I'll see you guys soon.